Apple just released the new iPhone 16s and 16 Pros, aka the first iPhones designed from the ground up for Apple Intelligence, which now means there's a camera control button, an action button, the new visual intelligence feature, and better battery life, and that's just on the regular 16. On the Pro side of things, you get all the same Apple Intelligence features, plus an actually bigger, better battery, so you get the best battery life in an iPhone ever. And of course, like you might have expected, much better, much more capable video and photo specs. So in today's video, I'm aiming to make it as easy as possible for you to understand whether or not you should upgrade to the new iPhone 16 or 16 Pros. And obviously, if you're getting the new Pros, you're gonna be very interested in my Pro iPhone Video Essentials course, which is linked up down below. But let's just start things off with this handy chart here, my upgrade decision breakdown. Now, Apple always says this is a brand new design, but it looks very similar. Why is that? Every 3 years or so is when Apple upgrades the look of the new iPhones. Will you regret buying the new iPhone? You might actually next year when it gets an actual new update in terms of the industrial design. And actually, while it's usually the Pro models that really hit the photo and video features hard, the regular 16s actually made some pretty good upgrades in terms of what their capabilities are. And we're gonna talk more about that soon. So if you're coming from a model that's a couple years old or older, then you actually will get some pretty nice photo changes, even on just a regular 16. I want you to take a look at the battery chart here. Going back to the iPhone 13, that was gonna give you 19 hours of video playback. That's kind of how Apple rates things. The 14 increased that by an hour. The 15 sort of hovered and kept things the same. But by the time you get to the regular 16, you can see you might get an extra couple hours of video playback. Crank it up to the 16 Pro Max with that actual bigger battery, not to mention all the chip optimizations. And I think you're gonna have a lot of people upgrading just for the battery life, nothing else. So Apple Intelligence is beginning to land. It's coming in waves. If you've got a 14 or older, you have basic AI. Think Siri, that's not all that useful. Kind of control your smart home, things like that. If you're upgrading to the 16 or the 16 Pro Max, you're gonna get some actual Apple intelligence that feels intelligent. This new visual intelligence that comes with this easy button that lets you aim at things and get more information, add things to your calendar. It is a cool feature that is a physically new feature. There's a button that integrates into the phone itself and a software feature that you're just not gonna get with those older iPhones. Now the Pro iPhones this year also have the same new Apple Intelligence features as the regular 16s. It's just that that new chip makes them more efficient. They can handle things faster, quicker, better. So the Pro models are just more optimized when it comes to AI performance. The new 16s definitely got some upgrades in terms of the ultra wide and also the camera controls with this new capacitive touch button that slides. That one click to launch the camera app and another one to instantly take a photo, or you can hold it down to start a video recording. These actually are pretty cool camera upgrades. Even with the regular 16s, you're getting 4 different views available to you right in your pocket, just 4 different lenses basically. And because of the new camera layout, the way things are with the new flash layout, you can now take spatial photos and videos. What does that mean? Well, obviously you're gonna be able to experience those in the Apple Vision Pro, which is maybe a pretty strong selling point for you to be able to re-experience some of those big moments in your life over and over and over again, even as you age. But then the Pros this year really take everything to the extreme. So you get the same new button to capture and to tweak things really easily and nicely. But you also get 4K 120 Dolby Vision, or you can shoot in Apple Log as well. And like my chart tells you, these upgrades are gonna be crucial for content creators, maybe for some business owners, but they're gonna be sort of minimal for your average everyday stuff. Before we get any further, let me show you how to upgrade your charging game with ESR's latest lineup. First up, we've got ESR's 3-in-1 Magsafe Charger, which has Qi 2 compatibility and Cryo Boost. Cryo Boost keeps your phone cool while charging. Great way to charge all your Apple stuff all at once, including your AirPods and your Apple Watch. It's got this cool thing that can plug in. So now you can charge your Apple Everyday Carry, your phone, AirPods, and watch all in one sleek station. Definitely keep this in mind if you're looking for an all-in-one solution to keep all your devices powered up and ready to go. Then when you're on the move, ESR also has a MagSafe card charger with Qi 2 support, Cryo Boost there as well. That's gonna ensure you get that same fast, cool charging in your car. And last but not least, ESR's got this great Qi 2 MagSafe battery pack with a kickstand. 15 watts of fast charging here, convenient wireless charging wherever you go, plus this kickstand for hands-free viewing. So whether you're grabbing the new iPhones or not, check out ESR's full range of MagSafe accessories. They're linked up down below. Let's get back into our event coverage. Apple showed off being able to shoot a music video just with the iPhones, with the Pros here. And I gotta tell you, as somebody who does shoot professional stuff with the iPhone, you know, you do start to forget that you're shooting with a phone. You just think of it as a camera because it does so much and it can capture such high quality stuff. That's why I'm making a course, Pro iPhone Video Essentials, all about that. You might get the feeling here as we're spending a lot of time on this that the new Pros really differentiate themselves mostly when it comes to the photo and video capabilities. Better ultra wide, better resolution, better low light performance. You got your macro shots, 13 mil, 24, 28, 35, 48, all the way to 120 for the zoom. For your average everyday person is gonna make a huge difference. Maybe, maybe not. You know, you're trying to capture something at the kids' play at the school and you need to zoom way in. Yeah, it could come in really handy actually. Not necessarily just for Pros, although the Pros will get a lot out of it. If you've ever zoomed in and been like, man, I wish that it was just a little bit more clear there, the details shown through a little better, you'll actually get better clarity here on the new Pro Zoom. And all these features are only with the A18 Pro. So the quick rundown, will you regret buying these new iPhones this year? If you're looking for the best new design, you may have some regret if a new design comes out next year that actually looks way different, doesn't just have new colors. Camera, this is not a bad time to upgrade either to the 16 or to the Pros this year because there's really some good, solid camera updates, including the Tetra Prism zoom now coming to the Pro. You don't have to just get the Max to get that extra zoom length. Pretty cool. Battery life, you can see the pattern in my chart there. That usually increases somewhat incrementally. I don't think it's gonna be the kind of thing that you regret purchasing. It's just you can expect to be a little better next year. The Apple Intelligence features out in the wild will be used in wildly different ways. Some people will not use them very much at all, while other people will rely on them heavily. I do think that the new visual intelligence feature will be useful. I don't know how often it will be useful. Will you use it every day? Not sure, but there will be occasions when you'll be like, yeah, I wish I had that. So obviously we do have some new colors here for the iPhone 16s, and I want you to notice there is 2 new buttons here for the 16. Yes, the new camera capture button, also an action button, just like the old Pros had. Is that action button gonna be something that really makes or breaks this new iPhone experience for you? Probably my guess is for most people, not really. Out of the 2 buttons, I think that the new camera button will be much more heavily used than the action button. Probably really comes down to if you consider yourself a power user or not. You know, a lot of people might kind of set it and forget it, and maybe they're not gonna use it for the shortcuts, but power users may actually go in and use that quite a bit. So figure out what sort of user you are. Probably the new camera capture button is a little bit similar in terms of are you a power user or not. It's certainly meant to make accessing the camera and the features a little bit easier for people and just more intuitive. The way you access the camera and activate the camera is different. So you don't have to have it or else you're gonna die, but it is a nice to have. In terms of the battery life, it's slightly better battery life. Is it gonna really make you crush your workload or let you play the game that much longer? I mean, I'm guessing you probably aren't gonna feel it all that much. Haven't tested it out yet, so I can't say definitively, but if you're buying the regular 16 for the battery life and you're coming from last year, let's say, then you're probably gonna be like, well, why did I upgrade? But if you're coming from a couple years ago or more, it's probably gonna feel like quite a boost to you, especially as it wears down over time. You know, Apple spent a lot of time talking about the new Pro chip and all the different cores for the CPU and the GPU. It's got 20% more bandwidth for the memory. What does that mean though in your day-to-day life? You're gonna notice it. The answer is it's gonna run some of the intelligence features and make some of the camera features possible, but other than that, are you gonna notice it in your day-to-day life? Not really. If you're really into gaming, then you might like that. You're gonna get extra shading, things are gonna look more realistic, run smoother, faster. You get that hardware accelerated ray tracing, but it's 2 times faster here because you got the ray tracing now finally in the 16, the regular. But the battery on the Pro models will make a bigger difference. Apple's touting up to 4 more hours of battery life. For some context, often when Apple comes out with a new phone, they optimize things like the screen technology and the chip to eke out some extra battery performance. But here, the battery is physically bigger in the Pro models. Not to mention faster wireless charging, up to 25 watts now. So that gives you a 50% charge in 30 minutes. That's nothing to sneeze at. I haven't really talked much about the new colors or finishes because that's very subjective, if that matters to you or not. You know, smaller bezels, yes, I didn't mention it until this part of the video because honestly, it's not that big of a deal. Does it look very different? No, that's what I'm telling you. If you're all about the looks, you might want to wait till next year for a newer, fresher industrial design. Not that it looks bad, it just looks very familiar. So at the end of the day, if you're coming from a 13 or 14, then the camera, the battery, and the AI features are gonna be the most noticeable improvements for you, particularly on the Pros and the Pro Max. And with that said, I hope that this quick overview helped you out, especially that chart. You can go back, pause, and get the freeze frame going and sort of take all that information in to help you make a better decision here. Again, don't forget to check out Pro iPhone Video Essentials. We've got some new wallpapers up as well. The details are gorgeous, not quite photos, not quite illustrations, kind of got a comic book look if you look closely. So check those out. All of it's linked up down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.